The pages you're about to see, I don't really touch. But there are still posts going up every single day, still money coming in, and they're still growing. And it's not because I automated it with AI. I didn't find some magic scheduling tool. And it's definitely not because I'm out here working 18-hour days to keep up. I paid someone $5 an hour to run it. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I set that up, what I handed off and what I kept full control of, what it actually costs and whether it was worth it. Because understand guys, this is the exact system that allows me to run 5 Instagram theme pages simultaneously without losing my mind. So log in, take notes, because this is everything you need to know about hiring a VA for your Instagram theme page. Okay guys, let's get straight into the video. So I hired a VA to run my Instagram theme page. Here's what happened. So for those of you that don't know, a VA is a virtual assistant. So they are someone that you can hire for usually a monthly cost or an hourly rate, which we'll get into all of that. And they run your page for you, right? So they do whatever tasks you assign to them, and it can really save you a ton of time. And this is how people are doing 10,000, 15,000 a month with the theme page without putting barely any time into it. Because once you train them up, we'll get into the process. It usually takes around 4 weeks to train a VA fully if you know what you're doing. And then once you do that, you know they're off and running, and it's just approvals from you at that point. So this is how you can end up running 5 to 10 pages at one time as one person, and you just have VAs doing everything for you. So what we're going to talk about today is the freedom math and why this model exists, what a VA can actually do for a theme page, and what you never hand off, where to find the right VA, and spoiler alert, it's not on Fiverr, how to train them without wasting weeks of time. I mean, this is a massive thing, right? If you hire a VA on and it ends up just taking a ton of time to even train them, and then they end up quitting or whatever, you're just wasting time when the goal was to save time, right? What it actually costs, the real numbers, and then my results and what has happened to my pages after I hand them off to a VA. So without further ado, guys, let's get straight into it. So to start off here, why should you even listen to me? Well, my name is Drew. I run theme pages full time, and these are some screenshots from a couple of our pages. So as you can see here, 36 million views in a month. We do anywhere from 30 to 50 million views on our pages per month for each individual page. As you can see, one of our pages here, Daily Athlete, we have well over 300,000 followers now. It's in the sports niche. We have a lifting page that's about to cross over 100,000 followers. As you can see here, here's some brand deals we landed. So we do $5,000 brand deals. Most of you guys have probably seen my brand deal video, $3,500 brand deal here. And then as you can see, we get paid from content posts as well. And I've only added a couple screenshots here. I have a bunch of others getting paid for videos, getting paid for individual posts, brand deals, affiliate deals, you name it, we've done it. We also have digital products running on other pages, not on these 2 pages, but on other pages that I have that are constantly selling in the background, and you know, I'll be asleep and get sales coming in. So there's a ton of ways you can monetize a theme page, and these are just some of the ways that I've done it and some of the big screenshots that I wanted to add in. I've also helped a ton of students scale, whether they have never touched social media before, and I helped them get to 100,000 followers, or maybe they have 200, 300,000 followers and they're not sure how to actually monetize and make money. They're just posting it and they're not getting any return from it. I help them monetize in the best way possible, depending on their niche. I made my first 10,000 online while still in college with theme pages. This is when I really knew I could take it full time, and this is when I really went all in on it. And those of you that follow me on Instagram see my stories. I post 15 to 20 stories every single day, walking you through my journey of what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis to grow my theme pages. And I'm always talking about this stuff and, you know, kind of the journey to get where I'm at now. I've helped scale multiple theme pages to 100,000 plus followers, and this is essentially me. This is what we're doing. We're continuing to grow new pages. I'm continuing to grow new pages and continue to hire out processes and getting to the next level with theme pages. So that's why this video is valuable, and that's why you should. Okay, so number 1, the freedom math, why this model works. So as you guys can see here, put together a little graph here. So running a theme page the right way takes 1 to 3 hours per day, right? From my experience, minimum. Content sourcing, creating content, scheduling out content, engaging with your audience, DMs, analytics, brand deal follow-ups, outreach, the whole 9 yards is going to take you between 1 to 3 hours, depending on your niche, depending on how much work you're actually doing yourself. With that being said, when you're running 3 to 5 pages simultaneously, the way that I am, if I did it all myself, it would be a full-time job. And at some point, my time would have ended up becoming the bottleneck, right? I can only do so much. So if I ever wanted to scale to 10 pages, 20 pages, right, it would have been very hard or almost impossible to do if I was just doing it all myself. I would have to lock in every single day and have basically every minute of my day planned out. And That's not what I'm looking to do. The model shift is simply this. You go from an operator, you know, someone that's posting, someone that's finding the content, someone that's doing all the outreach, all the little tasks, the big tasks, the little tasks, everything in between. And you start to become the owner. You start to become the CEO. So the operator, you know, deals with tasks, whereas the CEO starts to deal with decisions. So, you know, you're posting content every day, scheduling out content, doing all these things. All those tasks could easily be hired off and sent off to someone for $4 to $8 an hour, right? So a VA from the Philippines, and I've chosen the Philippines just because there's literally websites out there just for VA Philippines. It's one of the, you know, biggest countries for virtual assistant work, and you can hire someone for literally $4 to $8 an hour. And the math is simple. If you're doing a $500 to $1,000 brand deal, if you're doing $4,000, $5,000 brand deals like I am, you pay that off from one deal, right? So it saves you a ton of time, pays off in one deal, and then you're able to actually go out and get more deals and multiply your money because someone's doing the small task for you. The question shouldn't be, can I afford a VA? The question should be, what does my time cost me when I'm doing tasks a $5 VA could handle, right? So are you placing yourself at $5 an hour? If so, continue to do the engagement, continue to do the scheduling, continue to do the posting, continue to do all the little tasks. If you think that you're worth more than $5 an hour, which those of you with pages that have 500K, 600K, 300K, whatever it is, you're probably worth more than $5 an hour, right? Your time with your distribution could be going somewhere better, right? So with that being said, most theme page owners, you know, they hit a ceiling, not because the model doesn't work, but because they're stuck doing every single little thing and they can't work on growth. They can't work on starting new pages. They can't work on monetization because they're just stuck, boom, 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 consistently doing all the little things. So as you can see this graph right here, operator does all the little things, creating content, editing videos, thumbnails, scripts, posting, replying, the whole 9 yards, right? And this also leads to burnout, right? If you're consistently doing all of the little tiny tasks every single day, unless you really love social media, which for me, I loved every single little piece of social media, right? When I first started. So even to this day, I don't mind creating content. I don't mind editing videos here and there. I don't mind doing this, that, the other. But there just comes times where it's like, okay, do I need to be reaching out and getting more brand deals that can be paying me $4,000, $5,000 a month? Or do I need to be writing a caption and posting it, right? The time, my time can just go to more valuable, you know, better task at this point in time. It's not that I don't like it, and it's not that I ever got burned out, and I don't think I ever would get burned out even if I was still doing all the little things. But some people come to me, they've never even touched social media before. If I have them going through and doing all of these little things for a year straight, like at some point in time, they're probably going to get burned out, right? So with that being said, you switch over from the operator to the CEO, to the owner. You're setting the strategy, approving content ideas, reviewing the analytics, making growth decisions, building partnerships, hiring teams, creating offers, and scaling what works versus doing all of the little details here. So we're going to get into all this and exactly what tasks to hand off and not hand off as we continue on with the video. But what can a VA actually do on a theme page? So content sourcing is number one, right? So you have to, with this, right? You have to over explain. You have to give them more than what they're going to need, right? If you just say, hey, take a look at our content, you know, go find some viral posts within the niche, you're not going to get what you're wanting, right? You're gonna end up paying them hourly for a couple weeks, realizing that it's not working out and it's game over. There's two big bottlenecks when it comes to hiring a VA. The first one being them actually understanding what you're looking for. And it's like when you go to get your haircut, right? If you just sit in the chair and say, you know, give me something that looks good, most of the time it's not gonna look good, right? It's just gonna be something, depending on your barber, right? It might look good, it might not. If you sit down in the chair, show them pictures of exactly what you want, show them, you know, how you want it, all this stuff, you're actually going to get what you paid for. The same thing here, right? When you hire a VA, if you give them videos, if you give them SOPs, standard operating procedures, documents written out of every single thing that they have to do on a daily basis, how you find content, software as you use, XYZ, they are going to come back to you with exactly what you're looking for. Now, the second big bottleneck is the VA you hire just isn't a good VA. And when you're paying for $4 to $8 an hour from the Philippines, it's hit or miss, right? And I'm going to, at the end of this video, give you a bunch of different websites you can go to find VAs. Some of them very cheap, some of them you're going to get someone good, right? So with that being said, the second bottleneck is it's just a 50-50 shot sometimes when hiring a VA. The other thing we're going to get into in this video is the exact process to go through when you hire a VA and whether if you should get rid of them or continue on with them. So the next thing is give them a clear SOP, standard operating procedure. what your best post looks like, why they go viral. You are the one that knows the content, knows things like that, and where to find them. They build it up, they build out the queue, you make the final approval call, and this saves you 60 to 90 minutes a day because you just wake up, look at the posts they've sent over, approve them, disapprove them, then send them off to your editor, however it works, right? Sometimes VAs are also your editor, and then it's just approving them and having them create the post. Now, a couple things with this, right? Number one, you can't hire out a VA if you don't understand the content yourself. So if you're still just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping something goes viral, hoping something doesn't, hiring out a VA is just going to make things even worse, right? Because if you can't explain to them what's working, what's not working, why it's not working, how to find viral stuff, they're not going to find viral stuff, right? Unless you just happen to get a VA that's super good at social media, which for 48 hours is $48 an hour, you're probably not going to, right? So if you don't actually understand why your post and why your stuff's going viral, why stuff works, etc., go watch some of my videos on the algorithm, log into the algorithm, and save this video for when you are ready to get going. But you can also stick around and watch the video because I'm going to, at some point in time, this is your goal, right? So you should be prepared ahead of time. So with that being said, the next big thing a VA can do is actually scheduling and posting. And you just approve the content, and then they handle the posting, right? So it's very simple. AI today can do captions. Scheduling out a post, you get a posting scheduler, use Hoopla or Hootsuite, whatever, and just have them on there and they can easily schedule out content. Comment management. So responding to comments in the first 30 to 60 minutes, this is huge, right? This is what separates a lot of the pages with very good engagement versus the pages with not very good engagement. And this is where I can improve on a lot with my pages, is getting in there and actually responding to comments as they come through early, right? Most page owners miss this window because they just post and move on, and a VA doesn't miss this window, right? It's their job to get in there, respond to comments and things of that nature. So this is super valuable to have them essentially in the community engagement. DM filtering, if you're getting DMs about brand deals, questions from followers, spam, VA can filter these out. This is one of the last things that I would hand off unless you're getting a million DMs. I've worked with some clients where, depending on the niche they're in, they get a million spam DMs a day for some reason, just depending on the niche. So if that's the niche that you're in and your inbox is just flooded with random messages and sometimes you're missing brand deals and things and you're seeing them a week later, this is great to have a VA for. Weekly analytics reporting. So a lot of people get sucked into just viewing their likes, comments, follows every single day. It's almost as if they're just staring at the analytics and refreshing them constantly for that dopamine. That's just as bad as doom scrolling, right? So for me, I don't even want to look at the analytics. I don't want to look at the likes or anything like that. I look at them one time a day. I look at them in the morning. I go through everything, see how all my pages are doing, and then I'm done, right? Some pages I don't even log into. Like I told you in the intro, I have a page that is ran by a VA, content's going out consistently. I don't even touch it, right? I don't even log in, nothing like that. So with that being said, it's really bad if you're just always diving into analytics and obsessing over it, something I used to struggle with. You need to just simply have them put it all into a doc. And then every single Monday, you can get on a call with them for 10 minutes, or you can just dive in for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, see what worked, what didn't work. And then it saves you time digging through the app. And as we all know, sometimes you dive onto the app to do a task and you get sucked into doom scrolling because Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all these platforms are meant to suck you in. So it's sometimes hard to get on the app without getting sucked into doom scrolling. It's honestly something you have to learn to fight and get through as well. The one thing they can do that you think, the one thing that they can do that you think they can't is caption writing, and it's extremely simple now with AI. Give them a little pointer. So here's a little system right here that scales. So this is essentially how I run my pages, right? They find the content, VA finds high performing content, they send it off to me to approve. I approve the content, the VA posts. I send it off to an editor. Editor makes the post, sends it to the VA. VA posts it, responds to the comments, sends a weekly report, and then I review it. And this is where it's very simple to find out where things are going right, where things are going wrong, right? If the post itself, when it's going up, is bad caption, you posted at a bad time, whatever, we're missing days, then that's obviously on the VA. If the posts are just not performing well, that could be based off of the content or it could be based on my editor, right? So it's very easy to find things, and it's very easy to raise the content floor each week because I get a weekly report from every single one of my pages. So with that being said, What do you never hand off with a VA, right? So content approval, you just can't hand this off. You can't have the pages running full auto, because I know some people that run pages with 1 million followers that is full auto, but I would never do that, because it's just like, if you don't have 5 or 10 minutes a day to approve content, you probably should just go, like, I don't know what you're doing for where you don't have 5 or 10 minutes to just hop on your phone and say the post looks good or it doesn't. Your eye for what will actually go viral in your niche is your competitive advantage. So for me, I can look at a post and say, we're posting this, not posting this. I can tell how many likes it's going to get usually before it ever goes out, before the post is ever even made, just off the idea. And so for me, that's my advantage, right? A VA can send me 15 posts and I can pick the 2 best ones every single day that I know is going to go viral, and we're good to go, right? So the VA finds it and then you decide. If you start to outsource entirely, your quality is going to drop, and it's going to drop without you noticing, right? Hook selection, I would never outsource hook selection, because like I've said in the past, the first frame of a carousel is, or a video or whatever, is the entire video, right? So if your first slide on the carousel is bad, the rest doesn't matter and you just wasted time. So I'm always still writing hooks. I'm always still diving into that, and I'll never hand that off. And brand deal negotiations, obviously anything with money, financials, don't hand off. VA does not represent your business financials, and they don't know your financials, right? So you should always be doing this. Strategic direction, if your niche ever needs to shift, if your content angle ever has to evolve, or if you're launching a new monetization strategy, this is obviously handled by you. Don't ever hand this off to a VA. Credibility content, so any content where your face is on it. You guys have seen Daily Athlete. I post my face on there sometimes, and with videos, and I would never hand that off. And I don't do the editing, but I still write the captions and stuff for those, just because that's my brand equity, and you don't want someone else in charge of that, and I have the time to do it. So the gut check, VAs don't have the intuition that you do. You're the one that's built this from the ground up. If something feels slightly off, you're going to know that. The VA is not. And wrong tone, wrong energy, especially if you've been working with the VA for like 6 months and they know everything, right? Like my editors as well, they know everything too. So it's like things are smooth sailing now. But when you hire someone new or get a VA for the first time, understand that you're going to have to be by their side for a while. And we're going to get into the process of hiring on a VA, but shadow them, right? And you want to make sure that, because wrong tone and wrong energy is very easy mistakes to be made in the beginning. Delegate the doing, keep the decisions. So content ideas, you always set in the vision, making big decisions, approving content, building out offers, things like that, hiring, firing, brand positioning, analyze performance. VA handles the tasks, you handle the impact. That's important right there. Impact, things that are actually changing stuff, right? Things that are actually moving the business along, the big needle activities, you should always dive into yourself. So where to find a VA? Not Fiverr, right? So we can take a look at the graph here that I put together. So we're going to get into each one of these, but Online Jobs Philippines is amazing. This is where you can get them for $4 to $8 an hour. But there's going to be some on there that it's just not good work, right? Upwork is so Online Jobs, great for budget. Upwork is really good for vetted actual people that know what they're doing, right? So it's going to be a little more expensive. You can even get people from the US here. So if you're someone with 1 million followers, this is what I would dive into, is Upwork. If you're making a lot of money from your page. Instagram DMs is great for niche fit, right? So you have people in your DMs all the time. You can also get interns, right? You don't even have to pay for a VA. If you have people that want to get class credit or anything like that, you can hire out interns to run. And these often are very easy to find in your DMs. You can just put up a story, right, that says, hey, we're looking for DMs, apply here, get a little Google survey going, put it into your DMs, put it into your story, and then have people fill it out. And you always get a few people that are willing to work there. Online Jobs, the number one platform specifically for Filipino VAs, less well known in the theme page space, which means the competition for good talent and lower rates. This is where I would start at. Upwork, you can filter by the Philippines. But like I said, if you have 1 million followers, 2 million followers, you're bringing in $50K a month. Just do the Upwork. Don't be cheap, right? This is your business. Put some money back into it, and from the US or whatever, that's really going to know what they do. But at the same time, you can always test out, from the Philippines that do an amazing job, right? And there's no reason to pay more for someone in the US. Your own audience, so it's the most underrated option. Most engaged, thoughtful comments on your page, already understands what you do. And oftentimes you'll get DMs of people asking to be designers or whatever. These are great people to reach out to. You know, people even reach out to me like, hey, do you guys have any openings or anything like that? And those are the type of people that it would be great to bring them on as a VA. So the filter question that saves you weeks. During the interviews, ask, 3 pieces of content that you think would go viral on, your page, and explain why each one would work. And you can kind of, if no content at all or not, right? And based off of that, and go with your gut, go with your intuition. If you think someone's good, if you think someone's going to be bad, just don't go with them. What to actually look for: how they manage a social media account before. Can they write a caption that sounds like a human? Do they understand what's going viral, what going viral actually means? And, not high follower count, but solid engagement. And the red flag that's going to eliminate 80% of the applicants is any VA that's telling you, hey, I can make your page go viral or grow your account super fast. VA's job, right? That's your job. The VA is not to perform miracles or do things like growth tactics and stuff like that. The VA is just there to post and approve, or post and send you things to approve. So you don't need them. Also, like, you don't want a VA that's, I will work for me that are like trying to make decisions and tell me that like content you go a certain way. And it's like, I just need you to, content and send it to me. I don't, I input, but it's like, I don't, I got it. So the next thing is how to train them without wasting weeks. So this is pretty simple here. I mean, I just go through the graph, but investment right here. So at the beginning, when they're actually shadowing you, so you have to train them, share your systems, document workflow, Loom videos. Videos are number one, guys. If you want them to learn how to schedule out content, just schedule out 3 posts, record it, and then just send them the recording. Then it's just going to eliminate any questions that they might have. So shadowing, then week 2 is sourcing and improving. Let them, do the thing. And then as you can see here, the time investment starts to slowly go down. Week 3, posting and improving. So VA starts to actually post, and you can review and improve the content. So now, you have to, think of this as like putting on the account a week, right? So 8 to 10 hours at the beginning is what you're spending. They're shadowing you. Then now you're not doing sourcing anymore. So you can take a couple hours off a week. And then you see here, you're down to only 2 to 3 hours because you're just simply approving content. And then once you get to week 4, VA is running the system and you're just overseeing everything and focusing on growth. More freedom, more leverage, more impact, right? So how to train them without wasting weeks. Build your content criteria doc before they start. This is a document, could be a Google Doc or a Notion page with screenshots of your 10 best performing posts. Annotate what works, show them how everything goes, and this becomes their Bible. So always do videos as well, Loom videos and things like that. So week 1, they're shadowing, then sourcing, then they post with final approval, then they're running with twice weekly check-ins. The tool that makes this entire system work is Loom. Record yourself doing tests one time. They reference that. And then also if you fire them, you can easily just send those same videos to the next person and the next person. And you spend 30 minutes on the video doing a test that you're already going to do. And then it saves you 30 hours of back and forth messages with every single VA that you hire from there on out. So how much does it actually cost to get a VA? So we can go to the graph right here. VA cost breakdown, real numbers, and realistic expectations. So part-time Philippines, recommended starting point, hours a week, 20 hours. They are going to charge $4 to $7 an hour. Monthly costs, $260 to $606 USD. If you're selling a digital product, if you're doing brand deals, whatever, I mean, this is very, very reasonable. Full-time, $865 to $1,700. And US based, US, Canada, it gets expensive, right? So unless you're pulling a lot of money in, or you are running like 10 pages that are pulling a lot of money in, you want to have a VA go across everything, there's no reason to go USA, Canada. Go with someone, honestly, test it out, see how it works, and then go from there. But realistically, if you're making, let's say $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 a month on your page, you invest this extra $260 to $600, now you should be able to bring in a lot more because your time is now being spent actually doing things that are moving the needle every single day. Philippines VA, 20 hours. So we've already gone through all of this based off the graph. The right payment structure is a flat monthly rate. And you can do performance bonuses. So, if they're in on the content, especially on the content creation piece, which I always do VAs and editors separate. Just I like very, very high quality content, but oftentimes you can find them in the same. With that being said, they're not doing the editing. You can also do small performance bonus. That way they're encouraged, trying their hardest to find the best performing content. And if they're working on 3 pages or 3 different companies, whatever, and you're the only one giving them a bonus, they might spend a little extra effort, a little extra time with your, money comes from one mid-tier brand deal, $500 to $1,000 covers 1 to 3 months of a part-time VA. The mistake most people make, they wait until, they're 1 million followers to justify a VA, but the right time is to hire when you can cover the first month, not when you're already drowning. So if you can cover like 3 months, you're probably good to go, because now it just opens up so much time. But if your page is making no money, obviously it's not time to get a VA. Still do everything yourself. This video in general is more for, that are making some money. But understand that this is where it can get. People always reach out to me and they're like, well, how does it ever, how do you do 10 pages without just spending all day? It's like, wow, right? You have other people doing the work for you. And this is where it gets to, right? This is why it's so important to have monthly retainers, to have money coming in, digital products, whatever, newsletters going that are paying you, because then you can justify things like this, and then it opens up even more doors for you. So number 7, my results and what actually happened. So for me, where I first started to hire people out on my pages, the first thing was content editing, right? I didn't want to make content anymore because it was just taking too much time. So I hired out content editing. And then after that, it was posting and all the little things. But what went wrong initially was it's just sometimes hard to find the right person, right? So especially, I didn't know about all of these different sites and stuff, right? So I was really on like Fiverr trying to find people, Instagram DMs, story posts, things like that. And, find people that kind of told me that they knew exactly what I wanted and could do what I could do, and the quality would drop, or it would be like they would take way too much time on the post. Like I had one guy, I remember when I first started to hire out content, I had one guy that took like 8 hours to make a 3-slide carousel. I was like, how did it take you an entire day's of work to do 3 slides? And he's like, oh, I'm editing everything from my phone. So, and then never talked to him, right? Got rid of him. But the adjustment I made to actually find the right people, it simply processes Looms, recording everything, giving them an SOP, breaking down everything. I found out the more that you can break down, over explain, the more time you save yourself, right? Because I've used the same SOPs for multiple hires, right? If I hire a VA, don't need them, not up to quality, hire another one, not up to quality, hire another one. I only had to record the videos once, and it saves me so much time and makes the process so much easier and the churn rate so much quicker, right? You get them in, see if they know what they're doing until you find the right one, and then let them go. Your numbers before, after, my growth is a lot more automated now. Engagement's a lot more automated now. And able to bring in, the main thing is I'm able to bring in a lot more money now because I don't spend so much time on the little things, right? Time freed up per week, I don't have a number here, but as you can see, like this is an estimate. Time per day, if you're doing everything, 5 hours, 1 to 3 hours, time per day goes down to 30 minutes, 30 to 60 minutes. And it's 5 pages maybe if you're doing everything yourself. You scale this up if, 30 minutes a day, you could scale it up to 25 pages eventually. 40 pages is pushing it a little bit. And then, account, right? You could do maybe 5 posts per day by yourself if you're really just focused on content. But, everything out, you could eventually go to, 70 posts per week. So 10 posts a day per account if you're just approving everything, right? And it's easy work, more output, and better results. And, the 500K, 1 million, 2 million followers, most have people running them. Nobody does it alone at scale, especially the accounts you see posting 10 to 20 times a day. It's not just one person. The question is whether you're going to figure out how to build a team before or after you burn out from doing all the little things. And if you're someone that has an account, you're pulling some money in, you're looking to build out a team, first link down below. I help people do that exact thing. If you're someone that is looking to get into theme pages in general, thanks for making it to the end of this video. And also click that first link. Let's get you started with the page and get you to this point where you're actually building out a business, building out a team. I help out people, like I said, from 0 followers to 100K, from 500,000 followers not monetizing, from 500K needing to build out a team. All those things I help with. Click that first link down below, apply. I only take 5 clients a month, 5 to 10 clients a month, because I actually work with everyone one-on-one myself. I don't just throw you into a community and say goodbye, good luck. I'm actually diving in, doing everything customized for your page, for your niche, for you, right? And based off how much time you have, things like that. So that's why I only I max out a certain amount of clients each month. With that being said, my Instagram's also in the description. Go ahead and give me a follow there. I post, like I said, 15 to 20 stories a day going through my day-to-day processes, reels all the time, respond to DMs, ask me any questions that you need. We do Q&As and stuff like that on my Instagram too, at Winning Corner. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.